Where do I start? Let's start where we left off. The Giants lost on Thanksgiving Day in a game they could have won. And all this crying and belly aching I got from these guys online and from people on Twitter and people on Reddit saying, I don't know why they're not starting Drew Lock. Dallas the Donuts, DeVito is a little bit of a better player than Drew Lock is. He just doesn't have the experience. If he had the experience that Drew Lock had, and you started him from the beginning of the season, but with good play calling, moving the pocket, getting that kid out of harm's way, utilizing your tight ends early, there's a pretty strong chance that we would be in that 6-5, 5-6 category ourselves. And even with Daniel Jones, there's a possibility of that with better play calling. Our play calling, like I say, I invite all you guys that are Giants fans, please go back and look at the games. And if you don't do it now, when you get in that little bit of a zone that's at the end of February and you're coming off of that high of being in it, having all these NFL games to watch and all these great games, go back and watch our team and do an analysis, and you're going to see dog shit every fucking time. All right? The other thing I want to talk about is what's happened in this first half of today's Sunday games. All right? And again, the usage of tight ends across the board with a lot of these games where you got coaches that have, I saw a tight end screen with McBride, and these games were close. Arizona was leading the whole time. Now, I'm going to tell you like this. I have a pick'em sheet that I do with some friends of mine. I had the Detroit Lions win. I had the New York Giants in a winnable game where I know a lot of the people are going to take the Cowboys automatically. It gives me a leg up if they show up and finally play. My only loss on the sheet. Green Bay, win. Kansas City Chiefs, win. LA Chargers, win. Pittsburgh Steelers, win. Minnesota Vikings, win. Indianapolis Colts, win. Seattle Seahawks, win. Washington Commanders, win. And if Houston can hold on, there's like a minute left, that'll be a win. My remaining picks are Los Angeles, Tampa, Baltimore Ravens. And that was a tough pick because Philly's playing strong. But the Ravens at home, and if there's some rain, and they're going to have the type of defense that will shut down Saquon Barkley, now it's going to be up to Jalen Hurts to get it done. Is he going to run? He could. But I just feel like Ravens have a slight edge in the pick'ems. So like that. Buffalo Bills, Denver Broncos. If everything goes well, maybe Daddy will get a little bit of cheese to have with the crackers. We'll see. I want to briefly talk about some other football-related news. You know, of course, you know about the Chicago Bears head coach getting fired. I'm not a big fan of firing guys in the middle of the season. Even right now, as much as I call for Daboll to be fired, I would not want to see him fired right now. I just think it destabilizes what you're doing. You wait till the end of the year and you fire the guy. But to fire guys in the middle, and I certainly was against the one with Robert Saleh. I want to talk a little bit about Saturday's college football games. One, Coach Bielema, the University of Illinois, the Fighting Illini, still doing it, still alive, 9-3, and I'm hoping everything to come together for Alsmeyer and Coach Bielema and that great guy, P. Bryant III, that's doing it out there. I'm just so proud of Illinois, the Fighting Illini. I used to live in that town, and to see them raise up is beautiful. And the University of Illinois basketball, hats off to you on Thanksgiving Day. You took down Arkansas And I think they're 6-1 now, so Illinois football, Illinois basketball, Fighting Illini. And there's a connective tissue, if you don't know, between the blue and orange of Illinois and the blue and orange of the Chicago Bears. And there's a whole history there. I invite you to look into it. The other thing I want to talk to you about is a little story I saw about Coach Sanders with the Buffalo, Colorado, and everything they've been doing. For certain people, when they see somebody like Deion Sanders be so successful in life as a former player, as a two-way guy who played in baseball for a short period of time, that played for these different teams, 3 Super Bowl rings, to take a team that's 1-11 in 22 and turn it into a cash cow. Trust and believe the amount of cash that's coming into this area in Colorado that they haven't seen since forever. The restaurants are on fire. The hotels are on fire. They got events. They got bars. They got it going on. And because of the $1 Million Man, the guy with the golden goose. And I don't like these guys that show up that are sports reporters, whether they're local ones, like this fat-faced guy I'm getting ready to talk about, who was speaking poorly about Coach Sanders and calling him the Bruce Lee of Boulder. I don't even know what the fuck that even means, but you need to do your job, which is sports reporting. And now you have something to actually talk about. If you have a legitimate criticism of the way he's coaching or his coaching style, and you can base that on something, go ahead. But a win is a win, and the team is not cheating. The portal is giving them better players each year, and you can trust and believe he's going to get better next year. So you, Paul Feinbaum, and all you bums out there, that whatever your motivation is for not liking Deion, whether it's racial on a personal level, which I don't put shit past anybody, or if it's just you're just a jealous person of this man, or you're jealous because you have the racial issue, whatever it is, be a professional, ask questions that are pertinent, and if he does something right, say it. And if he does something wrong that's legitimate, you have the right to say it or criticize it as a sports reporter. Otherwise, you need to shut your fucking mouth. So that's all I'm going to say. I wish the best to Coach Sanders. I love what he's doing. This is a move. You can see where he was at JSU, now in Colorado. 2 years from now, he's going to be coaching somebody and running a successful program. And really, in all reality, and the totality of what karma is, he either ends up coaching for the Cowboys again a number of years down the road, or the New York Football Giants. And it might be with his son, both of his sons, who knows? I know those guys are probably going to get spread out. You're not going to be able to get Shador, Shiloh, and Travis Hunter all on the same team in the NFL. It ain't going to happen. But there are certain people that are game makers and game players, and they make a difference in a game. So let's talk about these New York Giant guys that are out there that are making it happen. Today we watched Seattle play the Jets. How great it was for me to see a guy in Leonard Williams. And I believe Leonard Williams was originally drafted by the Jets and then came over to the Giants. And of course, again, this is just when Shane and them guys came in 2 or 3 years ago. You were supposed to find a way to keep Leonard Williams, but you said, "Oh, I'm going to pay Dexter Lawrence, but I'm not going to pay you." But if you didn't pay all that money to a guy that you now don't even have on the team, that's standing on the sideline in the Minnesota Vikings, you would have had the money to keep these guys. Julian Love, 2 interceptions, 6 tackles in the game. At least 6 tackles. I don't know if he made the interceptions again. I was going back and forth. But Leonard Williams getting the interception and running 105 yards. Big Leonard Williams running it in for a touchdown. that was the difference in that game, because they should have kicked some field goals. They tried to go for it on fourth down, didn't get it. They almost gave the game away to the Jets. All right. Everywhere you look, you see successful players that formerly played on the Giants. For example, today in the Minnesota game, G.I. Ward, a linebacker formerly for the Giants. It's pretty funny that if you could take all the guys in the last 3 years since just Shane has been there with Dabols that you've let go, that you could have built a team around. And, Saquon and Xavier McKinney being the two star examples of your fucking failure as a GM and as a head coach and as an owner in John Mara of not putting his foot down about this shit. And again, I talked to my brother today, and my brother is a team leader, combat veteran, and a real fucking incredible individual. And we've been watching Giant football since we were kids. And for him to turn around and say the same shit that I'm saying to you, it's, leadership. Leadership is important. Guys who rally around. And Leonard Williams was another one of those guys, and you don't have him. Xavier McKinney, another one of those guys, and you don't have him. And now you get paid all the money to a guy that you literally told him to get the fuck out of the facility. That's the news story that's out in the feed in the last 2 days, that you told the guy, oh, don't lift those weights, put those weights down. No, you can't throw a football. You got to be on the fourth string and pretend like you're a D-back and just dog it. Don't even run fast. We don't need you to get hurt. Daniel Jones actually did what Brady is criticizing him of, and that is he asked him to freaking stay. He asked to stay and try to help the quarterbacks, and they didn't want his help. So there you go. The New York Giants find every fucking way in the world that's imaginable to fail over and over again. I have a number of people that I've been watching for a number of years that do Giant videos on YouTube. They're New York Giant fans. I don't have everybody here, and I may not even be saying everybody's name right or whatever, but I just want to give a shout out to Big Dash Nose. I appreciate your content. I appreciate what you say. Not everything I necessarily agree with, but we all on the same page. We want Big Blue to get better. Bad Dog Sports, like your channel. Chad Sports. Dig 544. I didn't write down the number, but you know who you are. I know who you are, and I appreciate you, dog. Fist Unit, I haven't seen you around in a while. You on vacation? What happened to you? You usually have all this stuff. I guess ever since Daniel Jones and this whole thing with Daniel Jones, you got to regroup, because first you were trying to say that Daniel Jones was dog shit. Then you flip-flopped again and said that y'all need to get off Daniel Jones' ass. Yo, listen, man. You want to be mad with somebody, be mad with Joe Shane and Brian Dabols. They both contributed to us having what we got going on now. Talking the Giants. And of course, I got to talk about my brother always, Carl Banks, Believe with Bob Papa. I highly suggest you could check that out. You can see that online. You can follow him on Instagram and TikTok. Also, Kyle Pizzle. I'm sorry. I like to imitate you right now and have a whistle, but I don't have one. But I love that, little girl, give me that whistle and whatnot. Bro, it's painful. It's painful being a Giants fan and for the period of time that we've been a Giants fan. And the other day, somebody put up, because you got these different Giant channels that have put up a moment. And the moment that they put up was a game with Brandon Jacobs, and he made a 74-yard TD run against the Dallas Cowboys, a game that we won. And again, there's certain things that have a way of repeating themselves historically, and not only in football, but in life. And if you have something that is a winning template, a winning formula, you have to try to continue to use it into the future. Sometimes you can make a drastic change that's going to make you have a new life and a new way of doing things. But oftentimes, what was successful for you in the past will be successful for you in the present and may be successful for you in part in the future. And that's in life. So, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater if you have a methodology. If a methodology is working for you, you need to stick with it until you can do something else. And having some kind of plan is better than having no fucking plan. All right? So, moving forward, I hope that we'll be able to do something. And then finally, I always have to mention Chuck Knox. And I'm really sad because my most favorite videos is when the Giants win and you're standing in front of your TV as the only person in the room cursing at the TV until you get the win. You're literally doing the same imitation of me, sir. I want to shout out to my friends and brothers out there, to all my Giants people, to the family. I got a group of guys that are in downtown Austin that have been meeting up for Giant games. I was there 2 years ago, and I haven't been back since. I apologize, but with the anger that I feel of watching such poor play, more than likely the Austin PD will probably have to drag my ass out of there if I get drunk and start talking shit about how fucked up the Giants are. So rather than do that, I just keep it at home. I keep it safe until we can get into a better space. That's all I got for today. It's going to be an interesting last set of games coming up here. And as much as I would like to root for Saquon today, I got a feeling that the Ravens are going to shut him down and we're going to have a close one. A lot of these games are going to be close. And I think the Ravens are going to pull this out. We will see. Anyway, let's go New York Football Giants now and forever. Deuces.